torn apart by infidelity, by secrets, built in love, destroyed by lies.
Dear Journal, I'm sitting here trying to figure out the impossible. How do I even fix my lips to tell my wife that my girlfriend is pregnant? Let's start from the beginning. I'm not a bad guy. Trust me, I'm not. Yes, I've made some horrible mistakes. Decisions I would do anything to take back. But it's too late, the cards have been dealt, and now it's time for me to play the hand I was given by the choices I chose to make. It's strange, writing this down. I never thought I'd be the kind of guy who needed to sort through his thoughts in a journal. But here I am. If I don't get this out, it'll eat me alive. First off, again, I'm not a bad guy. Or maybe I'm just trying to convince myself that I'm not. I've never seen myself that way. I'm a husband, a father, a provider. I love my wife Kelly, and our kids more than anything in this world. Twin girls who light up the room with their laughter, and a little boy who's just starting to say Dada with that little toothy grin of his. How could I ever be a bad guy when I have been blessed with so much good? I'm so grateful, but I've made some horrible decisions, real bad ones. Kelly, she's amazing, always has been. Even when I feel like I'm drowning in the responsibilities of being a husband and a father, she's there. But that's just it, isn't it? The pressure, the need to be the perfect husband, the father I never had. My old man wasn't around much. He always had excuses, work, stress, whatever. But that won't be me. I swore I'd be different, better. I just didn't realize how heavy that promise would get. That's where Ashley comes in. She's a coworker, and at first, it was nothing serious. Just someone to talk to during breaks, someone who could relate to the stress at work. We'd laugh about the same annoying clients, complain about the boss's ridiculous demands. It was innocent, harmless. But then something shifted. It wasn't sudden, more like a slow burn, a flame I didn't even know was there until it got too bright to ignore. I started looking forward to seeing her, to hear her voice, catching that little smile she gives when I say something funny. And she understood me, in a way that made me feel seen, less like a guy barely keeping his head above water. I'd catch myself thinking about her on the drive home, and that's when I knew I was in trouble. It wasn't until the office Christmas party that things really spiraled. Kelly wasn't supposed to come. She was supposed to stay home with the twins. The babysitter had canceled. I orchestrated that perfectly, so I had thought. But she surprised me, sitting there with that she knows everything attitude, the one she gets with me and the children when she already knows the truth but wants us to come clean about it first. For a split second, seeing her there made me feel like a child caught doing something wrong by his mother. She was angry, but for what she couldn't have known what was going on and how quickly my feelings were developing for Ashley. How could she know when I barely could wrap my head around it? A part of me wanted to just go back in time and pretend none of this was happening. That I didn't lie to Kelly to be there that night alone with Ashley. I wanted to pretend like I wasn't becoming this person I didn't want to see in the mirror. I wasn't betraying my wife's trust. I was still the man Kelly married. But then my eyes drifted to Ashley, who was already looking at me, and I knew I couldn't keep pretending. Too many things had already taken place that I couldn't pretend didn't. After the party, something broke inside me. I started picking arguments with Kelly over the smallest things that didn't even matter. It gave me a reason to leave the house, to get away from the guilt and the weight of my own expectations. I'd tell her I needed to clear my head, go for a drive. But really, I was driving to Ashley's, to her smile, her laughter, the way she made me feel alive in a way I hadn't felt in so long. And now, here I am, a man with a beautiful wife at home and 3 amazing kids who depend on me. And here I am, sneaking out to be with another woman. I hate myself for it. The lies I tell Kelly, the disappointment I know is coming. But there's something about Ashley I can't shake. She ignites something inside me. Something I've been missing for a long time. I don't know what that says about me, but I know it can't be good. I don't want to be the bad guy, but I think I'm becoming him. My life feels like it's spiraling out of control, and I don't know how to stop it. Today was supposed to be just another workday, another routine of meetings and tasks I could go through on autopilot. But nothing is routine anymore, is it? Not since Ashley came into my life. It started when I noticed Ashley wasn't herself this morning. She looked pale, tired, more so than usual. I asked if she was okay, and she brushed it off. Said she hadn't eaten breakfast, that she was fine, but I could tell something was off. Then just before lunch, she collapsed, right there in the office. Panic hit me like a freight train. I didn't think, just acted. I scooped her up and rushed her to the hospital, not caring who saw us or what they thought. All I could think about was making sure she was okay. I couldn't let anything happen to her, not Ashley. We sat in that sterile, cold hospital room for what felt like hours, waiting for the doctor. Ashley was quiet, her face drained of color, and I could see the fear in her eyes. I tried to comfort her, hold her hand, tell her everything would be all right. But the truth was, I was terrified too, terrified of what was happening, of what might come next. And then the doctor walked in, his expression calm, professional. I thought he was going to tell us she was just dehydrated, that she needed to eat better, take better care of herself. But instead, he dropped a bomb I wasn't prepared for. Ashley was pregnant. The words hit me like a punch to the gut. Pregnant. I looked at her, and she looked at me. And in that moment, everything changed. I saw the tears welling up in her eyes, the way her hands started to shake, and I knew she was thinking the same thing I was. Ryan, her boyfriend, he'd been in California for a month when this happened. The timing didn't add up for it to be his. It had to be mine. I felt like the walls were closing in on me, like I couldn't breathe. This wasn't supposed to happen. None of this was supposed to happen. But I knew, deep down, that this was my fault. That one night, too many drinks, too much frustration. We both let things go too far. We were both upset, angry, and looking for comfort in all the wrong places. And now, here we are, facing the consequences of our own selfish actions. Ashley didn't say anything after the doctor left, and neither did I. We just sat there in silence, the weight of what we'd done pressing down on us. I'm torn between wanting to be there for her, to support her through this, and the crushing guilt of knowing I have a wife at home with 3 young children, who trust me, who has no idea what I've done. I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm being pulled in 2 different directions, and no matter which way I go, I'm going to hurt someone. Ashley didn't ask for this, and neither did Kelly. But I'm the one who made this mess, and now I have to figure out how to clean it up. Do I tell Kelly the truth? Destroy our family? The life we've built together? Or do I try to keep this secret, to protect her from the pain of knowing? But then what about Ashley? She's carrying my child, our child, and I can't just abandon her. I don't want to abandon her. But I also don't want to lose Kelly, lose my kids, lose everything. How did it get this far? How did I let it get this far? I don't have any answers. All I have are these feelings of guilt, shame, and confusion. I've made some bad decisions, but this is the worst one yet, and I'm not sure how to make it right, or if I even can. Regretfully, James, dear journal, only a few days have passed, and I told her. I told Kelly. I didn't plan it. I thought I could keep it to myself just a little while longer, hide the truth to protect her from the pain. But I realized there was no protecting her. Not really. She deserved to know. I owed her that much, at least. I couldn't live with the guilt any longer. It was eating me alive, tearing me apart from the inside out. And more than anything, I couldn't keep lying to the woman I loved. So last night, after the kids were asleep and the house was quiet, I told her everything. I told her about Ashley, about that night, about the pregnancy. I told her how sorry I was, how I never meant for any of this to happen. I tried to explain, but there were no excuses, No justifications that could soften the blow. The look on her face, I'll never forget it. It was like watching her heart break in real time. Her eyes filled with tears, and she didn't say anything at first. Just looked at me, like she didn't recognize the man standing in front of her, like I was a stranger. And in that moment, I hated myself more than I ever thought possible. It hurt so much I could barely breathe. Seeing the pain I'd caused her, knowing that I'd destroyed the trust we'd built, the life we'd made together. It felt like someone had driven a knife into my chest and twisted it. I wanted to reach out to her, to hold her, to tell her it would be okay. But I knew it wouldn't be. I knew I'd done something that couldn't be undone. She asked me how long it had been going on, and I told her the truth. Just that one night, but that was enough. She didn't care about the details, about the reasons. All she could see was the betrayal. The fact that I'd gone to someone else when I should have been with her. The fact that I created a child with another woman. She cried, and I felt so helpless, so powerless to make it right. All I could do was sit there, feeling the weight of what I'd done crushing me. I tried to apologize, but the words felt empty, meaningless. How do you apologize for something like this? How do you ask for forgiveness when you've done the unforgivable? She didn't yell, didn't scream. That almost made it worse. The silence. The way she looked at me like she didn't know who I was anymore. Like she couldn't even stand to be in the same room as me. I don't blame her. I don't deserve her forgiveness, and I don't expect it. She finally told me she needed time, space to think. She went to stay at her sister's with the kids, and now the house feels empty, quiet in a way that's unbearable. I'm here alone with my thoughts, with the reality of what I've done, and all I can think about is how I've ruined everything, how I've hurt the person I love most in this world. I don't know what will happen next. I don't know if she'll ever be able to forgive me, or if I'll ever be able to forgive myself. But I do know that I can't keep running from the truth, from the consequences of my actions. I have to face them, no matter how much it hurts. I don't know if we'll make it through this. I don't know if she'll want me back, or if I even deserve that chance. But I had to tell her. I had to come clean, because she deserved the truth. And now, I have to live with the fallout. I just wish I could take it all back. But I can't. And now, I have to live with that. Regretfully, James.